Hey everybody, welcome to Buzzing About Romance. I am Becky, and joining me for this episode is Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Becky.
And Leah. Hi, Leah.
Hi.
And Heather. Hi, Heather.
Hello.
So we are back. I gave you guys kind of a break in September and brought in some other people, but now I'm cracking the whip and we got books and episodes to make.
Mm-hmm.
We got books to read and episodes to do.
This is true.
Yeah.
No more break times for you. Break is over.
Break was needed, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We talked about it a little bit on Wednesday. Everybody's kind of had a bonkers August, September, but some of us things aren't slowing down, right, Heather?
No, that's fine.
Okay, so everybody have a good week. I just feel like we should check in. Did we have a good week?
It had its ups and downs. But I think my reading slump is finally over, which has been, no joke, like 2 months long. Because I read
Excellent.
a lot this weekend.
Excellent. And Amanda, you are in Florida and you are getting prepped for hurricanes, so hopefully you remain safe and will keep us up to date on how things are going.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know, but it's been a week. So just waiting and watching.
Yeah. Yeah. We get it. So welcome to tonight's episode of Buzzing About Romance. We're excited to help you all cozy up as we dive into our Cozy Fall Romance TBR. As the leaves change and the air gets colder, there's nothing better than snuggling up with the perfect autumn read, right? From
I wish
heartwarming...
it would get colder.
I know, you are like so
I
ready for
know.
hoodie season.
But
Sorry.
she's in Florida.
okay.
Does hoodie
know.
season really exist?
Not really.
Unless you're inside.
From heartwarming small town stories to those irresistible steamy fall romances, we're about to share the ultimate list of books to keep you warm all season long. So grab a blanket, pour yourself a hot drink, get comfy as we chat about the books that are going to give all the cozy fall vibes. Don't forget to drop your recommendations in the chat because we can't wait to add them to our TBR and we will share them on the episode. Also, so I have to ask, I don't know that I think I've asked before, but we're going to ask pumpkin spice or apple cider?
Apple cider.
Amanda.
Sorry.
I like both,
You
but
like
I probably
both?
lean a little more towards apple.
And Leah is not a pumpkin spice girl.
I drink like one a year because I'm like, maybe this will be the year I like it. And it doesn't happen.
You are
It's
still
like
a
the same
basic
with sweet
bitch. You're just not a basic
It's
bitch
like
who likes
with sweet
PSLs.
potato casserole. I try it every year thinking, hey, this might be the year that I like a sweet potato. But it never happens.
Not the year. Heather, pumpkin spice,
I
apple
don't.
cider.
I like them both. I mean, I'm the most basic of the
I was
bitches.
going to say. And we know where you stand on the pumpkin spice.
I'm not a pumpkin spice gal.
Yeah.
Mike Burrier made an apple cider donut bread cake today.
Ooh,
Yummy.
Oh,
yum.
that sounds amazing.
It had chunks of apples in it, and it had like the crusty, like donut
Like the
cinnamon
streusel
sugar
kind of?
topping.
Yum.
I
was
may have
so
to
good.
come visit just for that.
Or
Come
he,
visit.
can he send that to us? Like the recipe?
know,
That
you're
sounds
allowed to share.
amazing.
I can.
Yep.
I can.
Is
send
there a
them.
recipe or did Mike make it up as he
No,
went?
there was a recipe. There was a recipe.
Mike Burrier, you
Sure.
need to share that shit.
It was
Jeremy made butternut squash ravioli last night.
yum.
So
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
I have been cooking dinner. So if anybody follows along, for like the last couple years, I gave up cooking dinner. Like I was done. I checked out on being a stay-at-home wife. I just don't like it anymore. I quit. So Mike has done the majority of the meal cooking at night. Everything else, lunch, breakfast, figure shit out. But Mike does the majority of the cooking. Over the last 2 weeks, though, I have kicked up my game and I have been cooking. Less takeout.
Impressive.
But I still need to
What
like
did you make?
tonight I made chicken Alfredo sauce from scratch, not noodles
I
from
like me some
scratch.
Alfredo.
Wow.
I am not that person. Like, not happening.
You rather press a button.
Right. And I didn't burn the garlic bread, and it was fully cooked. It wasn't undercooked and frozen in the middle. Like, that was a win for me.
That is a big win.
sounds amazing.
So,
Wow.
It does. Now I'm hungry.
I Yeah.
I don't know. It was really good. And I have apple cider in my refrigerator, so I'm thinking I'm gonna warm that up and add some whiskey to it.
I like some apple cider with caramel vodka
Oh,
Oh.
I might
and
have
some
some caramel
prosecco.
vodka.
It makes it a
So
little bubbly. It's really good. I was
Interesting.
quite toasted after trick-or-treating last year because of those.
Oh, is that the one you were drinking last year?
Oh yeah, it was good.
so when I used to drink, I can't drink because of my headaches, but Angry Orchard
Mm,
with Fireball with some cinnamon and then a slice of orange
I
is
can get behind that.
delicioso.
I could get
So
behind
good.
that.
I like a
That's like
hard
the
cider.
one drink I miss.
Okay, I will share the recipe for the apple cider donut cake in our Discord.
Okay.
Mm.
I also want to share that I added something new for Patreon. We are, when I have time or when things work, we are going to start having a silent book club. Basically body doubling, co-working. So our first one is actually tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you're part of Patreon, you got to Zoom. I'll have it also in the Patreon feed. Come on for 45 minutes. We'll sit together and read, and then we'll spend the last 45 to 30 minutes chatting and then be done by 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Because I need someone to hold me accountable to get books read and to get off my flippin' phone.
Yeah.
I
Um,
doom scroll so much.
so much. And it's so easy. Like you're sitting there reading a book and then you're like, oh, well, I wonder what's happening on TikTok. And then I go over to
Or I need
Threads
to
and I'm
look that
like,
up.
what the heck?
Yeah. Or I'll go to shelf on a Goodread to make sure that I'm shelving things. And then I open 12 other apps while I'm in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you're interested to learning more about that, send me a message. But again, for right now, it's exclusive to our Patreon. Just another perk for them. So,
Nice.
I like that
okay.
idea.
So before we get into book recs, let us define what makes a book the perfect fall read for you. I think for this episode, we tried to stick with books that take place in autumn or have the autumn
Hmm.
fall vibes. But I know that lots of people prefer to read like this is their PNR season. So
Yeah.
It's always Amanda's PNR season.
I
If
know.
I'm
I was
having
gonna
any kind of
say.
emotional distress, it's PNR and fantasy season for me. So
yeah. So what makes a fall read a fall read? Does it have to take place in autumn or is there a vibe you're looking for?
I feel like small town really fits with like fall in the sense of like you think about festivals and like apple picking and like pumpkin patch. Like, you know what I mean? That just feels like something a small town would have.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I,
But that opening scene of You've Got Mail, right? Where she talks
Mhm.
about like school supplies and how she loves school supplies.
Hmm.
Like that also feels very fall to me, I guess, that vibe.
do you think that like lumberjacks flannels are
Oh,
inherently cozy vibes?
I think so.
No, I
yeah.
I
don't
do.
think so.
You
I
know,
never thought of that. Huh.
I just,
I mean,
if he
I
wears
like a
flannel,
lumberjack.
lives in a mountain.
Because I don't feel that because I live in a small town where people wear flannel
Well,
regularly. So,
that's
and
a
they are
personal.
not lumberjacks. They are typically farmers.
Okay.
So
You also don't live on a mountain.
I don't live near mountains either.
So
I mean,
I
supposedly we have a mountain in Pittsburgh, but it's not really a
I
mountain.
don't think your flannel wearers are the same as like
Mm-mm.
lumberjack mountain men wearing
Right,
flannels.
but that's why I don't
Mm-mm.
think fall vibes when I think flannel, I think 90s high school in my heyday.
Well,
So,
it can be both.
I mean, it can, just not in the world of Leah.
Okay.
What about Amanda? Motorcycle clubs. Do you think motorcycle clubs?
I
Ooh,
do because I didn't put it on my list, but when I was thinking fall vibes, all that kind of gritty, like
too.
Gianna Darling's Fallen Men, like that is inherently like a fall vibe to me. Like
Yeah.
they're up in, like Western Canada and it just feels kind of dark and gritty. It feels fall to me.
Yeah.
Well, and
Mhm.
also in Canada, you're not riding your motorcycle in the middle of winter.
No.
It's a little
You know,
dangerous.
it's yeah, I don't know, but it
But the
works for
West
me.
Coast would be different. The West Coast would be different
Yeah.
because it's more rainforest than it is.
Yeah, and I think it
This
is.
is
It's
true.
like right up on the
Yeah.
line. I think is where the
Yeah.
that's supposed to be set. And I'm blanking on the name right now, but yeah.
Um, Heather,
Mhm.
Mafia. Do you feel like Mafia can have fall vibes, or is that more winter, like fire and
I don't.
snow?
I don't know. I guess then my mind didn't go there. I went more like football and like
Yeah.
college, sort of too.
Hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
school starting. I don't know.
Just
Yeah,
things to think about. I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
but I can see Mafia because it's like, yeah, I don't
I always think when the
I see
days
Mafia in
get
all the
darker,
seasons.
when the days get darker,
early.
The
the
mood gets
mafia comes
darker.
out,
Yeah, they have more time to like work because it's dark out.
right? Right? More
When the days are shorter, they do more
Heather,
killing.
I had to explain piercings to one of the gunkles.
Oh,
And I
fun.
shared
Did you
my
show him the diagram?
I shared my little cheat card, but then we
Mhm.
had to talk about Jacob's ladder, and then he
Oh.
sent me David sent me a message, and he was like, "Hey, what was that book you were talking about?" And I was like, "Well, it's, male female," and but I was trying to explain to him how like he makes her count
Mhm.
as they enter. Anyway, um, it was awkward, but you can do
Well,
dark
you
things in
could give them the
alleys.
results to our Google form.
Oh, yeah, he might appreciate that. Um,
If
What did
I
we
anybody
have
would,
just
the
David
read?
would.
spreadsheet.
Leah, what did we just read that had piercing?
The Rebecca Sharp book, so all of the males have piercings in that series, but there's a reason for the piercings. Like it's not just pierced to be pierced. Although I just reread, so I'm doing
Piercing
some
with a
like
purpose.
it was piercing with a purpose.
I'm gonna write that on this
That
little
has
list that I
not.
have going for stickers.
Yeah.
Pierced,
I'm
pierced for
rereading some
purpose.
MCs for our upcoming episode, and the hero in the one I just reread, he has a piercing, and he talked about getting another one, but he doesn't.
So Dr. Rebecca Sharps is not on the accoutrement list.
It is the Vigilantes series.
It's not on the list. Nobody has put that in.
Well, maybe Leah
Um,
needs to put that in.
if
You'll
they're
have to
looking
reshare
for
it
a
with me
male
because
male, I have some of those.
Well, we do need
KM
those.
Newell has some.
I'll need to look at the
Yeah.
list because I'm sure that that's the ones he'd prefer.
And that's a good, I'd go
I
Yeah.
there.
think we've gone way off fall topic.
You
Yeah.
think so?
I mean,
it's something new and different for us.
we
Weird.
always
I'm
stay
just
on
kidding.
topic. We never dive
I
off the
never-
cliff.
We're
I
like
always
a
wonder where
imagine.
we're gonna go.
Girl.
Like what's gonna take us there.
Right? Did anyone think this was the conversation we were going to have when we talked
No.
about fall
No.
cozy vibes?
Okay,
No.
Oktoberfest and breweries. How did I never even
Oh.
put that together?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
didn't have
but
any football on my
Why
list though
don't
either.
we
Oh, I
have
have football.
Why don't we have some Oktoberfest festivals now? I will say I did
Technically,
think
Oktoberfest is in September.
September.
That's why.
But I will say I did think of Molly McLean's Were Made a Moment because it's at the end of August, beginning of September when they go to the Polish American Festival and they make everybody
yeah.
dress in their costumes. The mom does, and they have all the pies and stuff like that. Because you do see a lot of those Polish American festivals, the Irish American festivals, Oktoberfest that will happen end of August, September, October. Our town had their Oktoberfest at the end of the last weekend in September, so last weekend. But don't you think that would be a fun small town romance?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I think so too.
We have a restaurant here. It's called Gas Stoves, and you drink like they have this huge tent and like the mugs, like you just get a whole mug. Like it's so
It's the
fun.
big glass rock mugs.
Have you seen like the Tiki Talks where it's like the the waitresses
The
in like the
Oktoberfest in Munich.
Oktoberfest, like,
Oh yeah.
but carrying like 13 of those giant mugs without dropping like a splash of beer. I'm like, that is impressive
That's
on
talent.
all
And can you
levels.
imagine how heavy those are?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And none of these girls that I watched were very big. Like they
Like,
were
we
all
have those
It's
tiny.
mugs.
just it's balance.
We
But
grabbed a
those were
bunch.
like,
They're
I used to
heavy.
carry
They're
huge
not.
trays and waiting when I waited tables.
ugh. I waited tables one summer. It was not a good
So
choice.
if
I did not like
somebody's
it.
listening, we'd love an Oktoberfest with,
Yes.
Well,
you know.
or
We
if
should
you
tell
know of
Danica.
one. If you know,
Oh
well,
yeah.
and you know what? As you say that, I didn't have her fall book on my
Oh, I
list.
figured you had it. I didn't put it
I
on there because I
didn't.
thought you would have it.
I
I
didn't
didn't have it
either.
because I worked on it.
Temporarily in love. Is that-
Temporarily in love. They
Mhm.
go pumpkin patch, fall festival.
It's like over Halloween
Yeah.
too.
Well,
Yeah.
and they serve beer because the
Yeah.
brewery serves beer. Anyway, okay, we are way out there.
What?
Dive into the
Here, I'll
elevator.
put that on my
Okay.
list so we can add it.
So what gives the cozy vibes? So is it the small town setting? Is it slow burns? Is it just the story? When we say cozy, why is it that we picked these books that we feel are cozy? Is it more the mood?
So it's the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did, I did. There's one I have that I always read in the fall. It's like Anyone and You by Jack Whitney. It's like an 82-page novella. It's they're go on a blind date and realize that it's like the neighbor, like a hot
Mm.
neighbor, and then they end up going to a fall festival, which I think anytime they go to a fall festival or like a carnival or something like that, and then she comes out and she's wearing like a cute sweater and boots, like that gets me every time. Like I love, because I can't ever wear sweaters. So I like it when other people can wear sweaters and I can pretend, and they've got like they go and they drink like spiked apple cider and they have a moment on top of like a Ferris wheel. And it's all very like I think anytime I read a book like that, it's like automatic like fall
Yeah.
book for me.
Do we have any romance books that take place like around the county fair?
Mm.
Because I mean, like mine's
Not that I can
the
think
last
off
week
the
of
top my head.
August,
Ours is
going
in
into Labor Day
See, ours
weekend.
is in August too.
But that kind of kicks off that fall season, right? Like harvest.
Yeah, it's always like right before school too. We always went like right before we had to go back to school.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I don't know of any with a county fair. I mean, a lot of like small town fall festivals, but I don't know if I've
Hmm.
I've read like a specific like county fair one.
Well, but I feel like
Oh,
because when I think county fair, it's like high school stuff, like all the 4-H stuff. So I don't.
Rebecca Yaros, Melodies and Muses and Melodies.
Mhm.
Don't they go to a fall festival in that book?
I think
It's
they
the
do,
town
yeah.
festival with the pie and maybe not.
I feel like I've read more like town festivals, but yeah, I'm sure I have some. I
Well,
just
because
couldn't think.
even like Lucy Score's Blue Moon series, like they go to festivals like in town a lot
Yeah.
too.
The Fall by May Archer. It's an O'Leary series. It's this teeny town in New York. It takes place in the fall and it's like they talk about it, but there's all these like fun fall festivals. Like, I don't know. They do apple cider donuts and stuff. So
Yeah, you guys are gonna do we're doing Take It or Leave It by Lainey Hatcher, which I have
Yeah.
on my list, but you're gonna do an in-depth. But that one's like it's an apple farm. She's in town for the fall to like see the leaves change. I mean, there's like apple picking, there's apple cider donuts, they have an apple cannon. It's like
So fun.
it's a perfectly set like fall book. I won't talk about it too much because you guys are gonna
Well,
read
and
it,
I
but-
will give a shout out to Lainey Hatcher. So she lives in Western North Carolina, outside
does.
Asheville, in Boone. Her home, I don't know specifics, but there's a lot of damage. I'm not sure if their home survived or not.
Theirs, I think, did, but
Yes.
they are at her parents.
Parents.
They didn't have power.
All I want to say is if you want to support an author that lives in that area, pick up her books. They're in Kindle Unlimited. She has some historicals. She has some new small town ones. Anyway,
Yep.
give Lainey Hatcher a read. I am sure that her family
She
would.
has a little novella before Take It or Leave It, and I don't think it necessarily takes place in the fall, but I actually have that on my list because it's like part of it takes place on an apple farm, and it's so cute. It's Love 'em or Leaf 'em,
Yeah.
and the
So cute.
Yeah,
covers
it's
are
right before
adorable.
the Take
Yeah,
It or
it
Leave It, and
like
it's all got that
introduces,
same vibe.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it introduces like the it's family series, isn't it?
It is. It's Will Clark's family. Like his family owns
Hmm.
one of the apple farms, but it's actually the novella is his best friend.
Oh, fun.
So
Mhm.
Anyway, I just wanted to give Lainey a shout out. She's not the
yeah.
only author that I know that lives down there. Maisie
No,
Eddings. Maisie
there's a
Eddings is
whole
also down
bunch.
there.
Julianne Walker has been like sharing stuff like like her backyard basically. They didn't have power for a really long time. There's a lot of displacement going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, Greer Rivers too has been sharing a lot.
Hmm.
Keep This Between Us by Davis Designs #1 by Albany Archer. Apparently, there's a fall festival in that book.
Fun.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you have a favorite trope to read in the fall? Is there
No.
one that you can think of that you're like, oh yeah, that's a fall trope? Like in summer, we tend to go for like the vacation flings. Is there a trope in the fall that you feel like it
I
calls
feel
to you
like
more?
nanny, like single dad and nanny. Like if you think about it, like school's starting, the nanny's role shifts a little bit. They do fun things with the kids outside. I don't know.
I think maybe Meet Cute.
Meet cute.
Mm,
Yeah, because
yeah.
like I had the one that was like a blind date, and then Take It or Leave It has a Meet Cute. I'm reading Fall at Once by Nora Everly, which is part of that Cozy Creek series. And they kind of knew each other, but they haven't seen each other in years. And she breaks down on the side of the road in her mom's little like pink bug, and he has to come rescue her. So on the side of the
Fun.
road. So I think that's probably in a good bit of mine.
Jenny says football. She feels
Yeah.
Mhm.
fall equals football.
Hmm.
I have
Um,
Wild Card
Yeah.
by Maggie Broaden on my list.
I
I,
have a
I'm
football
loving
one
and I
too.
football.
have The Hardest Fall by Ella Mays because it's
That's a
college.
really good one.
They're just
Oh,
back and it's the start of the football season. Okay, what is
Yeah,
the
I have football.
ultimate fall setting? So if we could pick our ultimate coziest of fall romances, what is the setting? Is it the mountain and the lumberjack? Is it the pumpkin small town? Is it the apple orchard? What is it?
I love a Halloween one, like where it's like the build up to like Halloween. Like in that the Rennick, I
Oh,
wrote
her
it down.
favorite
Where's she?
jack-o'-lantern. That's on
Rebecca
my
Rennick,
list.
her
Yeah.
favorite jack-o'-lantern. It's like the build up to Halloween. Like Tara Civic has one called Stop Ghosting Me, and it's like this build up to like Halloween because this is when the guy always comes back to town. Like I like that lead in to
Mm.
like that time where something big is going to happen.
that
Uh,
makes sense.
I think coffee shop, like that would kind of go with a meet cute, right? Like you're kind of getting coffee, you're doing like fun, like outdoorsy stuff. Everyone's dressed in cute, like leggings. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I
Hmm.
don't know.
And I
Yeah,
always
and thinking of like the sorry, did I interrupt you,
No, you're
Becky?
fine. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Like the Halloween one, which I didn't even think about it. You're sitting there talking about it, but I have the Sign of Seven trilogy by Nora Roberts. I almost always reread that during October, and it's like three friends to get together with three friends, and it's just to kind of like there's a big bad in the town basically coming back, and they have to get together, and it all leads up. I think it all kind of like heads off at Halloween, so like there's a big lead up. It's like all three books getting to this one point, so and it's kind of spooky.
There's fall always makes me want to read like the witchy rom-coms.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to recommend any of those tonight because I think it's just Amanda and I. We have a episode coming up that we're going to talk about witches and fays.
Yeah.
So I need to save those recs because I don't have a ton.
Yeah, I didn't put like I said, I only put that one from Nora Roberts on there just because it was like a lead up to
The
Halloween.
other Nora Roberts one that gives off fall cozy vibes is the one that's the Gallagher
Oh yeah, the Gallagher series.
where they kind
The
of travel between the Fae world and the current world. There's some mysticism, a little bit, really, you know.
Yeah, she has a good bit like that. So, I mean, any of her books I think fit this theme.
Yeah. Would you say cowboys tend to lead towards the fall?
Yeah, I actually was thinking that too because they're kind of like getting busy. You're like kind of ramps up. They're getting the horse like everything
They're
ready
getting
for
busy for
winter.
sure. They're getting
No,
busy.
that was what set me
Mhm.
off.
Yeah, they're getting busy.
I have a kind of like a cowboy one on my list. I have Root Bound by Tara DeWitt, which is like her first one. And that one's actually like, so it's the girl is going home to basically it's like her father who abandoned her and her sisters. So she goes to his ranch where he has like a whole different family and she gets together with somebody who works on his property. And it's kind of like a, they film a show there, kind of like Yellowstone.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
So it's a
that's
really good
fun.
book and it's kind of all set in September. So they're out in the mountains. I think I forget, like Iowa or somewhere. I forget exactly where it is, but it's very cozy fall vibe.
Yeah. And I would say, because like looking at Kristen Proby, her Wilds of Montana
Hmm.
series, like those are giving off kind of fall,
Oh
small
yeah.
town, cozy vibes.
I'd say her Huckleberry Bay series does too,
Okay.
because they have like that mystique behind them.
I would also
Oh.
say, like, I think Catherine Cowell's her Tattered and
I,
Torn series, even though it kind of doesn't really go over the fall, I think it's more
Hmm.
spring, summer-ish.
I
Um,
had Devaney Perry's The Outpost. So it's book two. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the series now. But she
The
kind of like
Coppersmith or something.
Jameson Valley.
Jameson Valley.
Yeah.
She kind of, it's like book three, I think. She has to go lit, like she's hiding. So she lives out in the, like basically the woods at that during the fall. So good.
Interesting.
So good.
Um, okay, so let's get to these book recs. We're just gonna share what we got, why it gives you the vibes. Um, I do have to say, so one of the things that I came across that I saw people searching for were books that give Gilmore Girl vibes because apparently everyone thinks Gilmore Girls in the fall.
Hmm.
Um, I am not super versed in the world of the Gilmore Girls. I didn't watch it till a couple years ago. I've only watched it once. And then I did watch the new, like, 4 grown-up episodes that they have. Um,
Mhm.
but everyone was talking about the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore,
Hmm.
as being like, this series is Gilmore Girl vibes.
I wonder if that's a pen name, if that was on purpose.
It was. I absolutely
Okay.
believe that it was. Um, it does not have those vibes. It's short. And it's a series of short little books about each of the different like businesses in the town. Like there's the coffee shop and it's fine. Um,
The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore is
yeah.
book two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't there a third one coming out?
It
It's, yes.
yeah, there's a Christmas one. Anyway, this does not have Gilmore Girl vibes. The book was fine. It was fine. The audio was on Hoopla. I enjoyed it. It was fine while I futzed around my house. For a whole 1 hour, I had my kitchen table cleaned off. 1 whole hour. It's not anymore. It was great. It was great. But it's not Gilmore Girls. So the reason I bring this up is if you do have a book or a series or a small town that has Gilmore Girl vibes, let us know. Because apparently that is something people are looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I didn't, like I said, I didn't read the other Cozy Creek ones, but The Fall at Once by Nora Everly, I'm reading it now, and it
I,
kind of
I
has
feel
those
like that
Gilmore
town
Girl
has that
vibes.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
Honestly, Nora Everly as a whole kind of has Gilmore Girl
She
vibes.
does, actually. I was just thinking that as you were saying it. Any of her books, really.
It's about like because her Barrett sisters, like that whole like I mean they don't have a Kirk, but they
No,
pretty
but
much have
yeah,
everybody
Violet's got her
else.
coffee shop and like, yeah,
Hmm.
it is very Gilmore Girls vibe.
Yeah, it
Um,
definitely is.
so you think that Cozy Creek multi-author series has the
Yeah.
Gilmore Girl vibes.
Mhm.
I mean, Nora's does. I haven't read any of the other ones yet.
Well, I will tell
Well,
you,
but
I read
if
the
it's like
one.
any other collaboration series, there's enough similarities in like the character development that I think
Well,
that it probably
I
does.
read the Piper Sheldon one and I read the Aaron Branscombe one. And I would say yes, it has those vibes. Um I but it wasn't but it didn't feel like fanfic because there's another book that I read recently that felt like fanfic of something very popular.
Oh yeah, it didn't feel like fanfic, but it has, I would say, those kind of vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Amanda, give us a book.
Okay. I also had the Cozy Nights in Vermont series by Elise Kennedy. The first book is Fall in Love. They're little short novellas. It's two rivals. She's a reporter and he's kind of like a photographer, and they're sent on an assignment by the magazine that they're working for. And basically they go and stay at 7 different inns in Maine that are all supposed to be the most romantic inns for fall. And so they have like a frenemies kind of rivals vibe going on. And it's Iris and Sam, and like some of these ends are terrible. Like they're just like one's like out in the middle of a field, and like they just have this whole little thing going on, and it was really good. I really liked it a lot. She had the book two just came out, I think October 1st, but she also has a previous series that's another kind of like fall based series, and Danielle read it and she really liked it. So I think they're available on Hoopla. They're not on Kindle Unlimited,
Okay.
but I really liked it.
What do you got, Leah?
I actually have the Stay a Spell series by Juliet Cross. Like those are definitely like, I mean, granted they're PNR, witchies, vampires, shifters, like you got the whole gamut, but like they have that like calmness to them also that some PNR does not have. And I feel like it's a really good blend between everything. I mean, we've talked about this series. I've talked about this series. I love this series, but
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any of the books that themselves like are inherently fall, but I mean it's New Orleans also, so
Yeah.
but yeah.
Heather, what do you got?
I have a football book in Texas, so that feels like I know Texas is like scorching hot, but
But it's
football
football.
Football means
is
fall.
like fall, right? So it's You and Me by Tal Bauer. So it's two single dads and their sons are on the football team, and then like it is intense, and they become really good friends, and it is well, Tal Bauer is just such an amazing author, and it's very good. It's
Yeah.
so good.
I get that. I have Accidentally Amy by Lynn Painter. The audio was on Hoopla. It absolutely, but it is like not even one whole chili pepper. We get one scene and it's pretty much
Oh,
then
it's like that Monica Murphy book you made me read.
yeah, like it's fade to black.
Oof.
So anyway, I listened to the audio. The audio was good. So hey, some people kind of want a lower spice book once in a while.
I am
And-
that yes.
I just
totally.
I just hold a grudge
I know you
about that
do.
one.
It's
I
fine.
think that happens in fall books. Like, unless it's a novella, I think that's sometimes part of the fall
The slower burn.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have, Amanda?
I also had Mackenzie's Turn to Fall by Harlow James. So it takes place in the fall and then it kind of goes over Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you get a lot of holiday vibes in there. But we have Mackenzie, obviously, and then her hero is, what is his name? Dylan. So she's like trying to meet somebody and she's like, oh, I want to have a meet cute in a grocery store, like run into somebody in the produce aisle kind of situation. And then he's actually the butcher. And he's kind of like, he starts like crushing on her, and then they kind of, I think that one's kind of a slow burn too. So he starts calling her Cookie Monster because she's eating like cookies out of the package when she's going through the store, which I thought was hilarious. But Yeah, they have some really good like, holiday scenes, and there's a fall festival in that one that they go to as well. So I really like that one. I think it's a good read.
What do you have, Leah?
I have A Proposal They Can't Refuse by Natalie
Yes.
Kenya.
I knew somebody was gonna have
Um,
that one.
it just honestly, this book is just so freaking good. But it does happen like over the fall season. There's a big blow up, like because of Halloween, and like there's just
Yeah.
a lot of like it's just a really great read. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you have, Heather?
Um, uh, I I feel like this is a stretch, but for me, it really gives the fall vibes. A Temporary Memory by Marie Johnston. So
I
single
can see that
dad,
one.
he
Yeah.
comes to live in North Dakota, kind of in the summer, early fall, and kind of falls for the nanny. And she is a teacher, and it just like they build this really great relationship, and his kids kind of come alive in North Dakota,
Hmm.
and it's so good, and I don't know why, but like it just like feels fallish to me.
Okay. Sue suggests the True North series by Serena Bowen. And then there are some other authors that have set in her world, but Bittersweet comes to mind for her. And I had True North on my list because I think it's bittersweet. He owns the apple orchard. That
Oh, nice.
so, but it's kind of Vermont in the fall. It has that
Hmm.
leaf peeking, peeping, whatever they call it, vibes.
So ironically enough, I'm like looking up Serena Bowen right now on Amazon because she has a really adorable, and it might be in the Moo You series. It is a college romance, and she puts up like on a bulletin board that she needs a date for Thanksgiving, and so she pays
Oh,
him to go to Thanksgiving, and like they play football. Like it is, oh my god, it's so cute.
How
I
cute.
It's driving me crazy.
I
And then they
think
like obviously fall in love.
so. One of the Layla Hagen books in the Bennett family series, he comes to Thanksgiving and they have like a family soccer game. Like, and it's an
Hmm.
oh yeah.
intense. And now I can't think of what book that is, but
It's called Boyfriend. It's a Moo You hockey romance series. It's actually book one in the Moo You series
by who? Who is it?
by Serena Bowen.
Serena
So
Bowen.
it's just called Boyfriend. So rent a boyfriend for the holiday for $25.
I kind of love that.
So
That's cute.
super
Another
cute.
book that I picked up out of Libby this week was Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. It was very cute.
Oh yeah.
Kind of Scooby Doo vibes because, to be
Ooh, I like
honest,
that.
when I think
Mm.
fall, Scooby Doo. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think Scooby
Well, because it's
Doo.
always a costume. Like,
Yeah.
And I
Like
don't ever.
mystery.
Don't you think it would be fun if somebody did write us kind of a Scooby Doo vibed romance? Like a
Yeah.
group of friends
I
that
could see Vera Valentine doing something like that, like in her crazy world.
Love and Other Conspiracies is a debut, Stacy. Yes, you are right. It was just really well done. I really enjoyed it. But again, it was those Scooby Doo vibes. I don't know, like a
That's
group of friends
fun.
that end up on like a ghost hunting tour by accident or strangers. I don't know. I just want somebody to fall in love in the Mystery Machine
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then defile it or something.
and then defile it. Yes, that's exactly what I
You
wanted.
just want a Scooby floof in charge.
I do want a Scooby Doo floof in charge. Amanda, do you have another book for us?
So I think I kind of like worked all of my list in when we were talking, but I feel like I did a disservice to Rootbound when I was talking about it because all the details flew out of my head. So I looked it up on Amazon so I could give you a better description because that was terrible. Uh, so anyway, it's Tate and Henry. It is in Idaho on a rustic ranch. It's called Logan's Range. It's a famous ranch functioning as a setting for a popular TV show. So it's also it feels very family saga-ish
Okay.
because she's
Mm.
she's going like her dad left her and her sister when they were young. He has this whole separate family. She doesn't really talk to them. she is actually like a photographer and she's going there for work. She's not even going there to see her family, but it just happens to be at this ranch. She has this contract. And then Henry's like a cowboy who works on the ranch, and like he finds her like outside like walking around in the woods because she hears something, and it's just I don't know, it has very like ranch cowboy fall. It is set in September, so felt like I needed to do that a better description. So read Rootbound.
The cover is seriously beautiful too.
Yeah. So I went back and read that right after I read Savor It because I loved Savor It so much. I was like,
Mhm.
I need to read something else that she's written. And I read this right after. And it's like I think this is her first one. And for being her first one, it's very well done.
Very well done.
I recommend Savor It to like every single
Yeah.
person I talk to.
Yeah.
Leah, do you have another book?
Yes, it's a series again. So Taryn Quinn, who is co-written, it's Taryn Elliott and Carrie Quinn. They write a lot together, but they have a Brother Three Orchard series. Like the basis of the stories themselves is on this apple orchard, and it's the different stories of the different people that are intertwined with the orchard itself. They're funny. They're not super long. They have some like ridiculous shenanigans, but I believe there's a brewery involved also, but the one she has like a hot cocoa cart like on the orchard, and they do tours and all sorts of things, but it's a really fun series.
Heather, do you have another book?
I do. You're gonna love this one, Becky. It's called One Look by Lena Hendricks. So it's set in. I
It's
love this
coastal.
book.
It's
Okay,
coastal.
it's set in the UP, and he is a college football coach,
Oh.
and he's a single dad, and she's a
I'm sure it would have been a
nanny.
great book if she just hadn't used the word coastal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I really like it. I can ignore it. Some people can't.
Some people
Cannot let it
cannot
go.
ignore things like that.
I cannot let it go.
It's super good. It's small town. There's tons of little festivals. There's Thanksgiving, and he invites all of the players that don't have a place to go. And there's like a rivalry, a fun small town bar. It's just
Fun.
really fun.
I tried. I just couldn't let it go. I'm sorry. With You Forever by Chloe Leese. Lease. It's the fourth book in the Bergman brothers. She goes up to the family's A-frame, and he's the grumpy brother that's kind of hiding out up there. It's a good story. It's not my favorite in that series. There's some other character inconsistencies, but it does have those fall vibes. That, kind of that in the woods in a cabin kind of thought. Does anyone else have another book? What do you got,
I
Heather?
do. I've got, well, two, and this is going to shock no one. They're male. And one is a football, so it's called Off the Clock by Annabeth Alpert. It is a small town. It's an age gap. They both, he's a high school football coach. The other one is he's a guardian of a football player. There's some sneaking around. It's really good.
Leah, do you have any others?
Yeah, so just a Dean, if you want something short, not a ton of plot. She has a whole haunted series. Now it does
Fun.
cover no, it's a holiday series. The newest one that just came out is haunted. So it covers different holidays, but there's Halloween, Thanksgiving, there are Christmas ones mixed in there too. But they're very good palate cleansers. Like they're short. There's plot, but not a
Yeah.
ton. And then Alexa Riley, actually, they have a Halloween treats book that, again, not a ton of plot, but are delightful because sometimes you just need that.
I have a
Falling.
stretch one.
What?
I have one that's kind of a stretch. So when you're done,
Oh,
I'll
it's a
tell you the
stretch.
stretch.
Falling
Well-
in, like the INN,
Yeah.
Love by Erin Branscombe. I did an IG Live with her, so I read this was her first book in that small town series. They all kind of take place around this inn. But but New England, tons of fall vibes. So what do you got, Heather?
It's Axel by Samantha Whiskey, and it starts the hockey season. And so she's like begging him to be on the hockey team. And so, yeah.
That's a good one. As
Mhm.
I was
I
sitting
like
here
that one.
thinking, I read Sideline Plays by Taylor James, I think is the name.
Yeah.
That takes place in the fall. It takes place like right as the playoffs are starting. And then he's injured and they go to Gatlinburg where he has his off-season home. But it doesn't really give fall vibes.
Yeah.
But that was also a book that was lacking some plot.
I also thought about, because we were talking about the cover of Rootbound by Tara DeWitt, but like The Wiener Across the Way, like even just
Mhm.
the cover, like
Yeah.
those colors, it's during football
Oh, I
season. I
have
know
it
it kind
right
of goes like
next to me. I
after,
can
but
even
yeah.
share it.
So I
It's
think
just
that one
so
has fall vibes.
pretty.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. I
Mhm.
mean, it just looks like fall
It
vibes.
My
does.
wiener finally showed up, people. It's so exciting.
What about BK
Oh, BK Borison.
Borson? Doesn't she have like, or is Tara
I think
DeWitt
that's,
funny
I think
feeling?
that's Christmas
That's
Tree.
Tara
Yeah, Tara
DeWitt.
DeWitt's Funny Feelings.
Okay. I
Yeah, I
thought,
think BK Borison's more Christmas, like the Love Light Farms and stuff is like
yeah.
Christmas trees.
Okay.
Yeah, that Monica Murphy series is around the Christmas tree farm too, because I was thinking her, but I was like, no, that's Christmas trees.
Well, and technically, North's book in Winterville, it starts in the fall because they're getting the tree farm ready, like they're trimming and getting things
Mm.
ready for the Christmas tree season. So it does have a little bit of fall vibes, but also just fucking read that series.
I've read her other stuff. I have not read that one yet.
Whatever. You guys are gonna get voted off the island, seriously. Like I feel like I have given some grace with Brenna Morgan, Kara Elks, Lexi Ryan. And if you cannot get on the train, you're gonna get left at the station. That's what I'm
There
saying.
are so many books out there.
Well, just you wait, because 2025 is the year of backlists.
Yeah.
It's just hard to keep up.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna
It
keep up. We're
is.
going backwards.
Well, also, like, I have this stupid thing called a job that if I could get paid to read, that'd be like my dream job.
Mm.
As someone that does do that job.
No,
You still
like
don't
what I
have
mean,
time.
to
So-
read what I want to read.
Oh.
Yeah,
like
not for a
Oh,
job.
that
stay
would be
home.
very different. Yes.
You could be an influencer, totally. Like I
No.
see you, like mom talk
Dancing
vibes.
around.
Like
No, I like that's the thing. You like making that content that takes a lot of time. You know what I mean?
I'm
You
really
could be the awkward mom influencer, though.
Oh, jeez.
I'm really struggling with, okay, so we're a little older in this group. I'm really struggling with the new made up dance to You Dip, We Dip. You know,
Oh, what is that?
I haven't
Like,
even seen this.
It's so
That's how old I am.
dumb.
like, okay, you guys, like
What?
the dip song, we danced to it in clubs.
Yes.
And now they've made some new, like,
Like
stupid
kids
dance.
think it's like revolutionary.
Like,
Well, it's like
it's
the
so
stupid
dumb.
bye 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 dance from like NSYNC. Kids
Oh.
are
Yeah.
like losing their shit. It's like, no, that is
Someone
old.
shared
This
the
is true.
video from MTV on TikTok and was like, "This is how they did it in the video. This is how we're doing it." And I'm just like, "Okay, fair." Anyway,
Now I have
it's-
this freaking song in my head.
You're welcome. You're welcome, but that's okay because guess what, Leah?
It's that time.
It's that time.
for book
Book
of
of
the
the week. It's book of the week time. Heather, you're up 1st What's your book of the week?
My book of the week is Easton. It is book 2 in the Swift Brothers series by Riley Hart. Easton is a male comfort, like hurt comfort. And I think within the first 3 chapters, I had to clean my glasses because there was tears on them, like twice. It was so emotional, but so good. Archer and Easton are so amazing. And oh my gosh, my heart just broke. There are content warnings, so I think if you want to read it, you need to check those, but it is such a beautiful story.
Leah, what's your book of the week?
My book of the week is Won't Back Down by Harper Jackson. It is actually Kate Nolan's new pen name. I don't always love Kate Nolan's books. They're very like mac and cheese and sometimes not even mac and cheese for me. But this one, like it has a suspense element. It was really enjoyable. There's an overarching storyline that's gonna go like throughout like the series. But I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay. Amanda, what's your book of the week?
My book of the week is One and Only by Carla Sorensen. Speaking of football, I've been backlist binging her entire Washington Wolves world. This is the spinoff. It's book one in the Wilder family. It is Greer and Beckett. It's a single dad, fake marriage. He plays football with her brother. Greer is like super sassy. Beckett is very serious. They're getting married for reasons I don't want to say because it kind of spoils it.
Mhm.
There's some content warnings. There's a lot of grief, family member cancer, that kind of situation. And I love his daughter, Olive. She's very shy.
She's cute.
This book was like, had me deep in my feels. I think it's my favorite one of the Wilder series.
Oh no, wait till you get the new one. When you
Yeah,
get to
that's the only
Poppy's
one I
book,
haven't heard
I finished
or
it.
haven't read. But
Oh, I
yeah,
was a hot mess.
Okay.
that's
was
what
so
everybody's
good.
saying. But
It was
this one, ugh, I don't know.
it was really good. I almost picked that one for my book of the week, but
Did you?
almost, but it was really good.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's time to maybe go back and visit Carla Sorensen. I know they're slower
I
burns.
see her and we had to take a little break.
Oh, did
But
we?
I went back with this one and it was totally worth it.
Okay. My book of the week is Hannah and the Hitman by Vanessa Vale. This comes out October 14th, I believe. I don't want to give anything away. It's delightful. If you loved her Manhunt series, you will love this.
I'm
so
excited
excited to
this
read
one.
it.
It's so fun. Did you get the arc, Heather?
I did, and I just talked to Demi today, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I loved it." She was just so good.
I
So I'm
loved it.
excited.
It's so good, and it reads super fast. So, highly recommend that. And I do
I
think
like that about a Vanessa Vale book is like when she's really hit her stride in like the story, like you just fly through it.
well, and I do believe that this is going to be in Kindle Unlimited if I read her email correctly.
I
She
think
took
so.
Manhunt out, but I think this series is going to launch into Kindle Unlimited.
Unless she does the releases wide for a few days and then drops into KU like some authors do.
She might be. I don't know.
But
really,
actually, we can
rather
find
do that.
out because it should say.
I'm looking right
You guys
now.
are looking?
Yep, it's going to the Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, it's going into Kindle Unlimited.
on the 15th.
Okay, so Patreon update. I would like to welcome our new members, Emily and Darcy. Welcome to the Hive. We are super excited that you're here. It dawned on me earlier last week. I created our Patreon 4 years ago and like really took book club forward and decided that this is where I was going to spend my time and effort was in this podcast, that it was more than just a hobby, that I wanted to build a book community. And I feel like we did that, right?
100%.
So first of all, I want to celebrate those that are celebrating 1 year in the Hive, and that is Amy and Marcy. Thank you for supporting the podcast for the last year. We're excited to have you along. We look forward to having you over the course of the next, however long we're here. Forever. And then 4 years in the Hive, celebrating their 4-year anniversary in October. So these are our founding members, and that is Mindy. Oh, you know what? Mindy's books, the her Max book,
Oh yeah.
that has kind of a fall vibe because it's all the ciders and
does.
stuff. So
Well, and aren't a couple of her Mimis?
Well-
like doesn't she have a couple Mimis that are fall?
I think she's writing everything as Mimi now.
like the novellettas.
They might be.
I feel
She
like
has
there
a lot
was
of winter, I think.
She does. No, the baseball one. No, that's spring training, isn't it?
There was wasn't there a lumberjacky one? They were at, oh no, maybe it was a winter
That might have
cabin.
been a winter cabin. I don't
I
know.
know they're really good though.
Read
You
Mimi
should just
Kenley.
read them.
So celebrating 4 years is Mindy, Heather, Nikki, and Carrie. So again, thank you for 4 years of supporting this podcast. I appreciate you all deeply. This month's Patreon swag packs are sponsored by Renee Rose and Samantha Gale. They are headed out on the 10th of this month if I can get my stuff together. Anyway,
I mean,
look
it's only
for
the
those in the
6th, you
coming
got time.
weeks.
Mhm.
Make sure you join us back here Wednesday for our discussion of Captive of the Horde King by Zoe Draven. I feel that will be a lively discussion.
I want to just tell people, if you check it out on Kindle Unlimited, you can get the audio for $3.20 or something.
Yeah, it was super cheap. It was super cheap to get the audio. Sunday, since October is Mental Health Awareness Month, so next Sunday, we are going to talk about books with great mental health rep. We're going to talk about some books maybe that highlight things like anxiety or social phobia, depression even, maybe OCD, but then also how those authors have done a good job of highlighting those to kind of shine light into the darkness of those. So join us back here next Sunday for Mental Health Awareness Month and book recs that go with that. For a list of books we talked about this weekend, please visit our On the Shelf show notes at buzzingaboutromance.com. You can find the current list of books for our upcoming Wednesday episodes on our website. And we released November's list. And just wait, I'm excited to share with you guys December and what we're doing because it's going to be awesome. Amanda is incredibly excited about one.
I am very excited.
Don't forget to follow us on social media for more updates and join our romance book loving community. If you love this episode, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Share it with your friends. Your support helps us bring more exciting content to you every week. Thanks, everybody. I'm so glad you're back. Nobody quit.
It's good to be
too.
back.
Nobody
glad
rage
to be back.
quit and said, screw you, Becky. I'm done. I appreciate all of you so much.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Until next time, everybody.
Happy reading, everybody.
Find us on Instagram at buzzingaboutromance or on Twitter at buzzingromance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.